It was one of those dark and cloudy days when the weather was somewhat confused between gloom and grief, and thus became a carrier for a sick mingling of both sentiments that drizzled down upon us in the wee beginnings of the dreary monsoon. I stood in the wake of the light precipitation, contemplating something, though my mind could not seem to grasp exactly what. We stood, a line of grieving people clad in white, as he lay on his wooden pyre, a bruise of brown against the grey water and skies that seemed to smudge at the horizon like a badly painted watercolor. I had felt so disconnected then with the whole cremation, when my existence had entered the phase where it was elevated from the abject misery that follows a death and suspended in infinite limbo. His mother asked me to light the pyre. All I could think of was the sheer inappropriateness of it all. It was the family who was meant to light the pyre. It was tradition, and always meant to stay that way. Besides, family was everything. Always the most important, taking precedence. But she said they couldn't do it. Her voice broke, wrecked with sobs, and his father and sister simply stood there, saying nothing. The scream that I expected to build up inside me and come bursting forth never did. I silently took up the wooden torch handed to me, flames flickering feebly in the humid breeze, and touched it ever so lightly to the wooden twigs where he lay concealed beneath them. In a small moment of bittersweet memory, it struck me that he would have liked the fact that we dressed him in his white shirt for this moment. He always claimed that it lent to him a feeling of greater importance and sobriety, the latter being a quality he sorely lacked. But it was what I loved about him. I watched as the oil that slithered on the twigs greedily met the flame's embrace, the yellow and orange fire and their myriad hues dancing and leaping across the pyre, slowly building to rise in ecstatic, phallic ovations, spitting sparks into the wet air. It was not in the least daunted by the rain, and instead reacted to it with a vengeance, hissing steam where the two forces touched, so mesmerizingly powerful as it consumed his body. It was a long, arduous process, feeling each of my memories with him being washed away, just as the fire destroyed him, bit by bit. I was 15, he was 16. We'd known each other for about 3 years and been best friends for 3 months. Our friendship built up slowly, steadily, and then all at once. I like that our story didn't begin as childhood neighbors and such. This way, there was always so much more to discover and the ability to appreciate more deeply what was discovered. I always admired what seemed to be to others his lackadaisical attitude towards life, but what I recognized as his simple wish to enjoy every moment in his own way. He brought out the best in me, and I became the one person who understood him, his every whim and fancy, the one who knew what he needed before he knew it himself. And slowly, irrevocably, we began to skim the line as fine as a hair between being best friends and lovers. I knew I loved him, but I didn't know how. When we hugged, each second was hours and weeks of being in his arms and feeling his warmth coursing through me. I could see it in his eyes. Those innocent black spheres had gone from looking through me to looking at me to looking into the very crevices of my soul. Much unlike the flames that consumed him, our love wasn't passionate or filled with zealous desire. It was the smallest quickening of a heartbeat, reveling in the safety and comfort of each other's ubiquitous presence. We were both moving towards that line, but where I was afraid to cross it, he was eager to leap across and explore the realms of where we could go together. as the rain penetrated my clothes and skin to chill my very being, I realized that I did not want for another kiss or another day, because I had enough memories to last me a lifetime. I just wanted him to be there forever, to fill the hollows and empty spaces in me, and to relive those memories over and over and over. I wanted to have someone to care for, to comfort, to love. But nothing came. He will never come. And neither did the soul-shattering misery and depression I so craved to show to myself and to the world how I truly loved him. Because I didn't. I could not love him long enough and deep enough to feel that way, but enough to feel his loss, like a scythe that cuts through the top half of a crop to reap its flowers and fruit, and leave behind the pale green, jagged stalks to grow upwards alone. Smoke and silence permeated the atmosphere like a thick snake, coiling, uncoiling in the suffocating space between us. A man stood aside, his soul so used to sights such as this every day that it had been sharpened to feel nothing. Once it died, once everything died, he picked up my lover's ashes and took them to the sea, to mingle with the ever-shifting sands beneath the turbulent waves, to be scattered into innumerable insubstantial flakes of matter, never to join and be one again.